as you engage with the superintendent and the team that will be here. You'll hear from them shortly. I want to say thank you for your teachers and counselors that are here with you. Counselors, teachers, and all, raise your hand so we can see where you are. Let's give our teachers and counselors a great round of applause. Academic coaches, I know sometimes it varies who's assigned to bring you, but I'm glad you came and that you brought our young people with you. So today is November 6th, and this is our first student advisory meeting for the year. We have a pretty good agenda. We'll discuss a few things with you, and then we have a portion of the agenda will be designated, or is designated for Q&A, feedback. But I wanted to start out by basically sharing a few things. You'll hear from a few individuals all today. You'll hear from Dr. Simpson, which is your Deputy Superintendent for School Leadership and Improvement. You'll hear from him, I think he just waved, but you'll hear from him shortly. You'll hear from Dr. Emily Lee, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. You'll hear from possibly operations, I believe. We've got operations. Dr. Smith may be here, I'm not sure. Or if not, someone else from operations. You may hear from school nutrition, Miss Audrey Hamilton. She's going to make sure you leave here with some type of snack, at least with some energy. Hopefully make you feel a little better. And you may hear from a few others. You'll hear from Christy Heath, our advanced learning lead. You'll hear from her. And so we look forward to you engaging with us. We want you to be always to be honest. So we want you to be thoughtful. We want you to be deliberate. We want you to think systemically. I often say if you're having an individual problem, this is not the time for your individual what? You need to take those individual one-on-ones to the right people, don't you? And that would be your teacher or your principal or your counselor. I want you to share concerns that may be impacting the entire school. And so whenever you have this type of audience, whether it be with the superintendent or whether you go and you have the audience of an elected official or a group of elected officials, those are your opportunities to represent your community. Does that make sense? Represent your community. So what are the broad issues? What are the broad combinations? The good things that are happening, and what are the broad, if you will, concerns that need to be elevated that you believe that should be addressed at some level. I want to always encourage you to always take full advantage of the role of your principal. Every school has a what? Say it again. Every school has a what? And so, if you have concerns, share with the teacher. Feel free to do so with your counselors. But you should always ensure that if you have concerns about your school, that you share those concerns with your principal. Every school has a principal, and the principal is responsible ultimately for everything that occurs at the school, creating a high-performing culture, learning environment, supporting teachers, hiring teachers, etc. And so I'd like you to make sure that you understand the role of your principal and that you engage with your principal. So I'm Dr. Beasley. I serve as your school superintendent. What is a superintendent? Superintendent is the individual who is responsible for all of what occurs in the school system. We have 65 schools, and I'm responsible to the Board of Education. We have a 9-member Board of Education. They hire me, and they evaluate me. My work is to supervise, oversee, lead the day-to-day operations of the school system. That means that ultimately, I work with the team to ensure that we hire teachers and counselors, we train them, and that they are assigned and they're doing what we need them to do for our students in the classrooms every day. We ensure that we have an operational budget to ensure schools are clean, we have maintenance, we have school nutrition, to ensure you have breakfast and lunch, we ensure that you have school buses in the event you qualify to ride the school buses to and from school. A goes into ensuring that on the first day of school, everything is in place, textbooks and laptops and e-books and all of those things. Not only on the first day of school, but how many school days do you have a year? Do you know? Write it down, 180 days. I said, oh, that sounds like forever. Sometimes it feels like forever, doesn't it? But it really goes by quickly, doesn't it? When you think about it, these years go by quickly. But you have 180 days. And teachers, for the most part, they have 190 days. And then there are those, like myself included, we have 200 and something days because we have to prepare and keep the district moving, preparing from one year to the next, beyond the end of the school year. So, what's major going on in our school system? You'll hear about advanced learning today from Dr. Lee and her team. But I want, as your superintendent, I want you all to know that today we had to go down to the Board of Tax Assessors and basically ask them to consider taxing the airlines for the leases that they have in the city of Atlanta, because they're not paying enough taxes for the children here in Clayton County Public Schools. They don't pay taxes anymore on their aviation fuel, which hit us to a tune of about $12 billion a year, no longer getting in our construction program. And so we decided that we gotta figure out some other ways of drawing in some more money to support the students here in Clayton County Public Schools. So we realized that all the airlines, how many of you like to fly? You like to fly? Delta and all of those whoever lands over there, whoever takes off and lands over there, whatever airline, they have a lease with the city of Atlanta. They pay the city of Atlanta so much money, and I believe Delta made over $64 billion last year. So all we're asking our county government to do, since the airport sits in Clayton County, that property sits in Clayton County, we're asking them to look at their leases and figure out if we can't get the money through aviation fuel, I need you all to figure out another way to ensure that the 55,000 children in Clayton County Public Schools get what they deserve. So we can continue to pay our teachers more. We can continue to, with our one-to-one initiative, Chromebooks for every student. We can continue to have beautiful facilities, maintain our facilities, maybe provide additional transportation if we need to. We want to ensure that we have more than enough resources to serve the 55,000 children here in Clayton County Public Schools. So all I'll tell you is the efforts continue to ensure that our children here in Clayton County, those of you sitting in this auditorium, you get exactly what you deserve to get. Many people benefit from the existence of the airport right here in Clayton County. It's time that we ensure that the children benefit from the airport that sits in their county with hundreds and thousands of planes every day flying over our schools. And I'll say this, and while they're flying, guess what they're releasing? Chemicals. And one day we were cleaning a building. One of our schools had a lot of dirt on it. I asked someone, I said, why is that school so dirty? It just didn't look like it should have that much dirt. And you know what they told me? That's not dirt. That's aviation fuel. So I said, if the fuel is landing on the building like that, imagine what we're breathing in every day. So that may be a science project for someone. The point is, many benefit. Technology comes with some disadvantages. Businesses come with hopefully adding advantages to a community. But we also deserve to benefit from their profit shooting. And we are going to do our best to ensure that Clayton County's 55,000 children are benefiting from their business in your county. Did you know when you land at the airport, you land in Clayton County? Did you know that? If you didn't, you should know that. So we're constantly ensuring that you get the resources that you need. So, the first resource that you should have, that you should see every day, after you get off the school bus, you go into the schoolhouse, you should have teachers who are teaching you your curriculum every day. Raise your hand if that's occurring every day. Teachers who are teaching every day, every day. So today, Dr. Lee is going to talk to you about the level in which instruction should be occurring. And so, the other day I went into a classroom and a question was asked, what states were created? And then I asked the question, after they answered what states were created, why were the states created? Is what or why a higher level question? What can be a higher level question depending on how you ask it. But in the context that I just shared, why was a higher level question? Those are the type of questions we want to see more and more being used of our instructors and of our students in our classrooms every day. You have got to be trained to think at higher levels, to think critically. Employers constantly tell your superintendent and our team that when they hire individuals from Clayton County Public Schools, they want individuals who know how to what? They know how to think. They know how to solve problems. They know how to infer. They know how to make references. They know how to research. They know how to create. They know how to communicate. They know how to collaborate, work in a team with others to solve a problem. And so those are the things you should see. Those are the experiences you should be having in your classes every day. If you are in your classroom sitting in nice little rows every day and you're never solving problems, collaborating and communicating with your peers, and I'll tell you this, we're not preparing you. Because when you go work for Google, and you go work for Apple, and you go work for Delta, and you go work for a lot of companies that pay well, you will not be sitting in rows. You will be working in teams, and you will be solving what? Problems. You will be working in teams, and you will be researching and solving problems. You'll be using math, science, maybe social studies, history, ELA, English. You'll be using all of the things that you've learned in order to solve problems. And so that's what we want to see, and that's what we expect to see occurring in every classroom in our school system. Every day, that's our work. That's our work. So what do we need of you as students? We need you to come to school ready to learn. Ready to learn. You say, I got a lot going on. Well, that's true. Many of us do have a lot going on. I don't think that's going to change in life. I don't care how old you are, you'll probably have a lot going on. But you got to focus, prioritize, and do what you must do in order to position yourself for a better future and a better quality of life. Education is very important. Education, whether we realize it or not, education is creating a divide between those who have and those who don't have. So those who are getting more education, they're getting the high income jobs. And when I say education, that could be a college degree, it could be a credential, it could be a certification. It could be an area that we normally call a vocational tech area. But a high skill area, those are the individuals that are making the income in a service economy, a knowledge-based economy. Those are the individuals that are employable. You say, well, I don't really care for education. That's like saying, I don't care for money. You don't have to love money. You should love money, but you do need it, don't you? Because I don't care how pretty you are. When you go into a store, what do you need? When you go pay your utility bills, what do you need? If you need to get on barter or you need to buy a car, what do you need? And so what we're trying to do is position you to get the money, because the money is just a tool to transact in our society so you can fulfill your purpose. That's all we're trying to do. The education just helps you to get resources so you can fulfill your purpose, whatever that purpose might be. It may be to be a lawyer, it may be to be a school teacher, a doctor, a superintendent, a police officer, an EMT, a firefighter, whatever your purpose is. We want you to get the education and the training you need to fulfill your purpose. And guess what? As you fulfill your purpose, guess what you'll always do? You'll always work. Because you can't fulfill your purpose without working. Sometimes that means working for other people, right? And sometimes that means working for yourself. But it doesn't matter as long as you are what? Working. And so we want you to work. We want you to be prepared. We want you to fulfill your purpose. You say, what's the purpose of coming to school? So you can get educated. So you can figure out what your purpose is. So you can get the tools you need, the education and the resources you need to fulfill your purpose. That's what we want you to do. We want you to fulfill your purpose. So raise your hand if you thought about what your purpose is. Let's see. Think about it. Have you thought about that? Elementary students, where are you elementary students? K-5, raise your hand. You say, I surely hadn't thought about my purpose yet. But we want you to start thinking, even at the elementary level, what is your purpose for being here? Because if you don't have a purpose for being here, you'll do anything. If you don't have boundaries, you will do what? So your purpose gives you boundaries. You'll tell yourself, my purpose is this, so I'm not going to do that because I want to fulfill my what? Purpose. Middle schoolers, where are you middle schoolers? Middle school, 6th grade, 6, 7, and 8. Have you thought about your purpose? High schoolers, raise your hand. I know you've thought about your purpose. Seniors, where are you seniors? As you select colleges and you determine your next steps, they should be aligned with your purpose that you believe your life will be grounded in. So all of you, I want you to start thinking about your purpose and start connecting your purpose with what we're doing in our school system to help you get ready to embrace the opportunities to fulfill your purpose in life. I want you to all fulfill your purpose. So, I've said enough. I want to go ahead and pass the mic to Dr. Lee. And I want you to think about what I just said. She goes over a few things about advanced learning because we're preparing you to fulfill your purpose. Fulfill your purpose. Whatever that is. I can't tell you today what your purpose is. You may not even know what your purpose is. But you've got to start thinking about that. Just like I had to start thinking about my purpose, and I made decisions to be where I am today, to fulfill my purpose, I want you to do this very same thing so you can fulfill your purpose. So, a part of you being prepared, as I said earlier, is the education, the quality of education you're getting here in Clayton County Public Schools. So with that being stated, I'm going to toss it to Dr. Lee so we can talk about what we're doing to advance learning for all of you in this room and all of your peers, the 55,000 students who attend Clayton County Public Schools.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? So as Dr. Beasley stated, I am Dr. Lee. I oversee curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And so students, you should hear and see standards every day in the classroom. Do you hear the word standards? So essentially, every state has a set of standards. We call ours the Georgia Standards of Excellence. And those standards outline what you should know and be able to do well upon graduation. So you may want to get your own copy because that tells you at the end of the school year what you need to know. So what we found a few years ago, or really even before a few years ago, some states were better preparing students post-graduation from high school than other states. So you heard of Common Core standards. So we moved away from the term, but essentially your standards are many steps to college and career readiness. So what you know and should be able to do each day is prepare you for the next grade level. So if you have gaps when you leave one grade, do you find yourself behind? Yes. So that's why we're working collectively with teachers, with principals, with community, with everyone to make sure that our students are learning those standards and learning them at high levels. So every day, you should know your standards. Every day, you should know why you're in class and what you're learning. I distributed a document. Does everyone have one? We're trying to get more copies. The very front of the document is called Workforce Ready. So look at the document on the front. It's colorful. I want you to examine it to see if you can see the relationship. And then we'll go over it. And then on the back, you have questions, as Dr. Beasley stated earlier. How many of you were in the advisory last year? You were part of the superintendent's advisory. Okay, so we have mostly a new group. Okay, excellent. And thank you for being on the advisory because you helped to advise us. So on the back, you have a set of questions, and I'll come back to this. So, advanced learning for all. How many of you are aware of our advanced learning for all expectation? Raise your hand if you've heard of how we're advancing learning for all. Okay, so, no one. So essentially, you all, and just thinking about college and career readiness, we've had a few students who have been consistently prepared for this track that I'm going to go over in a moment. So when they leave, they may have been in accelerated learning, honors, gifted, advanced learning. Some may have had dual enrollment, internships, summer internships. They're part of different competitions. So when they enter college or whatever's after college, do those students bring a richer experience? Yes or no? Yes, because they've been in a rigorous learning environment. They probably had a lot of conversations with the counselors about college and opportunities. But then we also noticed the opposite, that we may have had more students who were in the rows, sitting in rows, doing a lot of remediation, a lot of workbooks. Are they having the same rich experience as the other set of kids? No. Are they showing up with the same level of knowledge, skills, experience as the other set of students? No. So what we decided, that's not right. That creates inequitable outcomes. So we decided we were going to increase the number of kids who are experiencing acceleration. We were not going to allow their test score or their current level to determine who gets accelerate or advanced placement. So in our district right now, we have gone from having 15 to 16%, so that means 16 students out of every 100 in accelerated math in 6th grade, to what percent you think? What percent? From 16% to... So if we're advancing learning for all, it's not a 100, 94%. 94% of our 6th graders are in accelerated math, and what that means is It doesn't mean that they're not getting the support. Because how many of you are sixth graders? Raise your hand if you're in the sixth grade. I guess they're working on that math. Okay, so the sixth grade, they're being exposed to, remember I said standards. All of the standards for sixth grade and a portion of the standards for seventh grade. Now, does that mean that everyone is on the same level, learning at the exact same pace? No, because we still have to differentiate and support our students' needs. So 94% of our students are in accelerated math, so that by 8th grade, they're ready for Algebra 1. Algebra 1 will be on the SAT, Algebra 1 will be on the PSAT, on the ACT will be needed, that type of thinking will be needed for your other high school courses. So we thought if we get Algebra 1 out of the way, in terms of the learning in 8th grade, then kids would have the skills, the thinking skills for the high school coursework and beyond. So in addition to the 6th grade, our 9th graders, what are you all doing? Raise your hand, 9th grade. No 9th graders, they're working too. Okay, so the 9th graders are in advanced placement courses. So those are college-ready courses. That's college content, college learning experiences. We have about 78% in advanced placement, as well as thinking about their career a little earlier. So that's for the secondary level. We're wanting more kids in dual enrollment. Right now, we have 650 kids currently leaving high school going to college. So they're in college and they're in high school. That's through dual enrollment. And at the elementary level, we are hoping that you all engage in solving problems, real world issues, and working on projects. So raise your hand, scholars, if you've worked on a real world project or situation this school year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you may be thinking about community issues. You may be working on global warming. You may be looking at the economics and basically how do we create more equal communities and schools. You may be looking at our democracy, and is our democracy at risk? I'm just throwing out some of the topics and projects from Unit 1. So a few of you. So let's go to this page, the colorful page. Workforce ready. So take a moment to just look at it, see if you can see the relationship, and then I'm going to go over it. So if your neighbor doesn't have one, please share. So at the very top of the document, what do you see at the very top of the document with the mint green color? Careers. Careers. And those careers are sorted and organized into clusters. So ultimately, as Dr. Beasley stated, we want you thinking about who are you, what is your purpose, and what problem do you want to solve? And what career will allow you to solve that problem? So that's the end. So now let's go down to the bottom of the diagram or the page. Right now in your pre-K through 12th grade experience, you should be developing skills in 4 areas. The first one is what? Core knowledge and skills. Where do you learn your core knowledge and skills? English, I heard, in language arts, mathematics, science, social studies, keep going, health and PE, fine arts, world languages, yes. All of that, yes, and reading, yes, definitely reading, language arts. All of those domains or subjects are coming together to build your knowledge of this world and who you are. So let's go to the second box. As you're learning, what should you be developing? Thinking skills. Do you know the research says that in this generation that you all will change jobs 7 times? Within 10 years, you'll change jobs 7 times. So the thing that may change may be the career, but the thinking will still be needed. So what are some of those thinking skills that you must have? Communication, solving problems, strategizing, creating. The world wants innovators. How many of you have an iPhone? Raise your hand. You have an iPhone. The iPhone didn't exist 10 years ago. And raise your hand if you can do over 50 things on an iPhone. Yes, somebody's always creating. Right now, you should maybe thinking about the app that you want to create to be the next millionaire. Next to the thinking skills, so sometimes we have students who have the knowledge, they have the skills, but they don't necessarily have the network. They don't know how to connect to the college and career opportunities. So that's where you have your counselors, your teachers, we have our advanced learning team, and they're to help you connect to what you need to do to be prepared for college and career. So some of those questions are, what are my options? What do I need to do? When do I need to take the SAT? When do I need to start looking for summer internships? When do I need to start saving money so I don't have to apply for so much financial aid? So all of that are college and career navigation skills. And then number 4, you all, just like in class, you want to be able to work around good people, right? People you enjoy. You spend most of your day, your hours in school, and we spend most of our time at work. So I don't want to be around people who are unhappy, bad attitudes, they don't want to work with you, they can't think through things, they don't know how to self-initiate, self-start. So essentially, all 4 of those skills are what you should be receiving in your K-12 learning experience. So you're not just coming to school just becoming. It's not just something you do while your parents go to work. You should start thinking about, what problem do I want to solve? Somebody realized that we couldn't travel abroad through walking, through trains. Now we can fly. So there's always problems being solved. And then from there, what's the next section after your learning experience? What's next? Early college. How many of you knew, raise your hand if you knew you could go to college and high school at the same time? Excellent. How many of you are doing it right now? I see 1, 2, 3, okay. So last year we had over 70 students graduate from high school with an associate degree, first 2 years of college, plus their high school diploma. Saving their parents what? Money and time, and saving themselves time. So the earlier you know about these opportunities, the better. So if you're in advanced placement, AP courses in high school, you take the exam, you want to earn a 3 or higher, you can possibly get credit towards college. So that saves you from having to take that course when you actually land on the college campus. So these are your options. So elementary and middle school students, it's important for you to know this, because you still have to bring the knowledge and skills and thinking to that experience. And then CTAE pathway. So at the very top, we see the different careers. While you're in high school, you could potentially have a credential, leave with a certification, and maybe get some early work experience. So all of this is knowing early so that you can get a head start to the workforce and make what Dr. Beasley shared. Money, so you can take care of yourself and take care of your family. You don't want to have to live at home. If you want to, that's fine, but you don't want to have to live there. You want to have options in life. You want to be able to explore and see the world, okay? And then from there, once you graduated from high school, what's next? Post-secondary options. So some of you would have already tapped into that through high school experiences. But if you haven't, then you have your 4-year college, your 2-year college, or trade school. Get something beyond your high school diploma. Right now, when we look at the unemployment rate, meaning people who do not have steady employment or jobs, it is 6.5% for those who do not at least have a high school diploma. So that means out of every 10 people, 6 to 7 are switching between jobs or they're unemployed, whereas it's 1.5% for those with degrees or advanced degrees. So that's something for you to think about, okay? So that's the front of this. That just tells you your journey. I would keep this somewhere where you are kind of mapping out your decisions in life. Start thinking about what problem do I want to solve and what career will help facilitate that. And then if you turn on the back, you see a variety of questions. So we're constantly emphasizing rigor, relevance, and relationships. We want you to feel very comfortable and safe in your learning environments and feel that you can go to your teachers, to your principals, your counselors, your media specialists, someone who you're connecting with. So relationships are critical. You should always feel that you're in a nurturing and safe environment. Now, when you're in your learning environment, we want the instruction to be rigorous so that you can obtain the knowledge and skills that we were just discussing. So if you look at the questions, just kind of scan the quadrants. We call them quadrants. There are 4. So there's quad A. If you look to the right, there's quad B. There's quad C at the top left and quad D. So just take a moment to scan the type of questions that distinguish each of those quadrants. And then I'm going to ask you quickly to tell me, what do you notice? Raise your hand if you want to share. What do you notice about the questions from quad A to maybe quad D? Tell me your name and school. Great.
My name is Aisha Subah. I'm a senior at North Clayton High School, and I've noticed that they require critical thinking, and they require for you to further understand based on your prior knowledge or maybe by the research that you did in order to answer the question, but you need some type of information to be able to answer these questions.
So you need information and knowledge to be able to answer the question, critically think through it. So it goes from maybe in quad A, you just need to know what is a simile. But in quad D, you're applying the knowledge of figurative language to deliver a powerful message, an argumentative essay, or argumentative response in a real situation. So you have to critically think through that, correct? Okay? What else? One more comment for time. Stand up and speak louder. Tell me your name and school and grade. And then that's a very good point. So what Tiffany noticed is that essentially in the quad A, you're just getting the knowledge. You're just identifying, you're having to determine. But when you get to quad B, you have to apply it. You have to make connections. But then in quad D, what do you have to do? You have to take that math that you're learning and adapt it in a real world situation. So each time, what's happening to the learning? It's increasing, it's getting deeper, you're getting smarter, you're learning more, and you're becoming more competitive so that you can ultimately do what? Secure a good quality of life, a good quality career, okay? So I want you to keep these questions in mind because these are questions not only should be posed by teachers, but you should be asking these questions to make sure that you're making the connection with the learning. If you're only in quad A every day, are you getting smarter? No. So pay attention to the type of questions that are being posed as well as the questions that you're posing because you want to know why does this matter? What is significant? What if we were to change the perspective? So when you're learning about history, you're perceiving it from one perspective. That's not the way to learn history. You want to have multiple perspectives. You want to be able to research, okay, and look for the evidence. Okay. So before I bring Ms. Heath up, I want to thank you all for bringing your planners today. We're going to take you through some of those tools because we understand when we advance learning for all, we have to provide the supports for our teachers as well as our students and then our parents. And last year, when we looked at our end-of-year results, we've had good data, so we're third graders. Third graders. We're no third graders. Okay, so third grade, they made growth in language arts and math. They had big jumps, and we're hoping we send more kids to third grade ready to tackle that text. So third grade made gains in language arts and math. Fifth grade made gains in language arts, math, and science. So how many of you are fifth graders now? Okay, raise your hand if you're sixth grade. That's right, the sixth graders are working. That's okay. And then we also had really good growth in eighth grade language arts and eighth grade science. So our students went in ninth grade, we had a big jump. We made more growth in the state in ninth grade literature. So our data points, you all show that our students, you all are learning and you're learning deeper. And so we're just wanting you to go even deeper with it so that we can continue to accelerate and increase your readiness for these careers. Okay, and you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and advise us, but we want your feedback. We want to know what can we do to better ensure that you have a quality learning experience and quality resources. So at this time, if you brought your planner, I'm going to ask that you bring that forward, and then I'm going to call Miss Heath, Chrissy Heath, like the Heath bar, and she's our advanced learning coordinator. She's going to take you through that as well as share other supports that are in place. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? It's a tad chilly in here, isn't it? No. You have to use all those little shivering motions to kind of build up some heat here. So hopefully I'm going to give you a few things to think about. Okay, so Dr. Lee really talked about what we have to do to be the next people who take over this world, right? Because that's what we should be thinking about. There are so many things going on this planet that you have the ability to solve. You have so many more opportunities out there, and it is so exciting because I'm like, phew, I know you guys have got it handled, so I don't have to worry about it as I get older, because I know any of the students, because I taught thousands of students in Clayton County, and I know my babies are out there kicking it, so I know you are too. So one of the things that we want you to really think about is if you're out there solving those problems, one of the biggest things you've got to embrace, there's two of them, there's two things. One, productive struggle. I need you to be okay with struggling, because God bless, I struggle every day, and I have to be able to do that. The other thing is failure. I know sometimes as students we think, oh my gosh, the F word is very horrible, the failure thing, because we might get a lower grade, we might have to go home and have a strong conversation with our parent. But guys, failure is actually quite fantastic, because failure tells us what we need to do to improve. I can tell you every single day I fail. There are several people in here, teachers, who know, I'll tell you, I fall flat on my face over and over because I have problems figuring things out. And that's okay, because I have a team of support. One of the other things that a lot of people in this room would tell you is, I'm a super organized person, but when I was your age, I wasn't a super organized person. I'd like to say I was kind of a dunderhead when it came to organization. But as I got older, I realized I needed to be so much better at organization. So we asked you to bring a planner today. How many people brought their planner? Show it to me. I'm real curious now. My next question is today the first day you saw it? Keep it up if it was. Okay, all right, that's good. That's good feedback from me. Because that tells you that's something I have failed I'm going to put this in the holder because I didn't bring my third arm today. And so, see, I failed. I had to figure out how to put this in here. Oh, okay. So, what we're going to do is talk about some of the aspects of this, okay? So that if you've never seen this before, or you've only saw it yesterday, okay, then you know the aspects of this great planner. So one of the things we looked at, and this is for me, guys, I am a calendar freak. If it's not on my calendar, it is very hard for me because I have a very busy day. So putting together a planner that was more like what you need for it every day was one of the things that we worked on, okay? So I gotta put my eyes on so I can see too. Okay, so you've got page numbers, and those of you who brought yours, I'd love you to look at page 9. Okay, page 9. Oh, and any of the artwork in here is Clayton County's kids, okay? So really some gorgeous work in here, so keep that in mind too. On page 9, we have a map, Mind Map Your Life Plan. How many of you make goals every day, make goals for your life? I do. My husband and I actually, every January 1st, we come up with our new goals for the year. I constantly have goals. I've got goals as Christy. I've got goals as Christy Heath. I've got goals with Christy and Don, who's my husband. I've got goals for everything. Everything from maybe taking a trip or to paying off a bill. Guys, you need to have goals. Some of those goals are short-term and some of them are long-term. So this page right here kind of helps you in doing that. Also, now turn to page 12. On page 12, we give you steps to help problem solve. So, an issue comes up. This is what, as an adult, guys, this is what happens. Someone walks up and gives me a problem to solve. You gotta figure out how to solve it. This helps you, and he goes through some of the steps of helping you to do that by clarifying what your problem is, identifying the root cause of it. From there, developing a plan, executing it, and if it doesn't work, to go back and modify it. All right? So let's keep going. Look at page 14. These are habits of mind. These are the things that we have to do to become successful adults and be able to hit this world running. And that means these are different things that we have to be able to do. And one of them to me that I think is so important is thinking about your thinking. Guys, we got to keep going back and reevaluating and reflecting on what we're doing. To me, this is so important. I constantly go back and rethink. How did I do something? Did it work? How did I speak to someone? This has led to me having a better relationship with the people around me. So keep that in mind. So look at those habits, all right? Now what I want you to do is look at page 20. We restructured how your weekly day looks like. So you can go in, we have a set of 4 for every month. You can fill in your times. We actually have places for you to have a week's goal, a reward area, and things like weekly positive habit tracker, my personal to-do list. These are all kinds of things that you can do. We feel like it works better than what you previously had in the past. Hello, yeah, been in the future. All right, next page, 21 and 22. Monthly reflections. What worked? What didn't work? What do you want to change? How do you go about making those changes? This page helps you track that out. Because guys, one of the big things to be successful is not only to be a really conscientious reader and go back and rereading, but it's also writing. You have got to put your words in, what you're saying every day into your writing, because it helps you organize your thinking. From there, page 23 and 24 are just note pages. Anytime you need a note page. And then the last thing I'm going to force you to look at is page 97. Page 97 is a scholar's toolkit. So what we've done is we've done a bunch of things. A place for you to do grade tracking. We've got Cornell Notes. It's a template, so you can use that. We've got 18 ideas for becoming a master's student. Lexile chart, so you know where your Lexile is and what it correlates to where you are in your grade level. We're looking at the evidence-based response, claimed evidence and several other things. Also, your back page has QR codes that go to even more information. I'm hoping you make this part of your daily plan of how to become a better scholar in this organization and for your future. My last thing that I wanted to talk about is that I know that in a few minutes, or probably not in a few minutes, but sometime in this hour, you get the chance to start asking some questions. I'm looking for ways to solve problems, okay? And I want to know how you can help solve some of the problems that we are experiencing here in Clayton County or in your classroom. So I want to take your knowledge and your abilities, and I want you to help me by providing some solutions. If you're interested in doing that, okay, and pretty much anyone in here will know how to get in contact with me. If you would like to be part of a think tank that looks at some of the real issues that we're facing in Clayton County and want to come up with plans and ideas on how to possibly solve them, because Lord knows, I'll tell you, I don't have all the solutions, then I would love to capitalize on that. So I would love to have an email from you, okay? So if you are interested in doing this, I would love for you to email me, and if you don't know who I am, you can always come back over here. But my name is Christy Heath, and if all of you have Google email, you can pull up my name. My last name is spelled just like the candy bar, H-E-A-T-H, and I'm the only Christy with a K, all right? Email me and let me know, would you like to be part of the solutions for Clayton County? And would you like to be a part of that? Because I'm looking for those ideas, okay? All right, so I think with that, I'm going to turn it over back to Dr. Beasley, since he looks like he's getting up. All right.
Give Christy a hand. Good job, Christy. So you've got your deputy superintendent, Dr. Simpson here. Dr. Simpson. Still here.
One second. Go ahead, Dr. Beasley.
So we'll keep moving. Safety and security. Chief Traywick is here. Oh, come on in, Mr. Walker. You all know we have SROs in all of our secondary schools, right? And then we have campus supervisors in our secondary schools. We have a team of SROs who support elementary schools. And so Mr. Walker is going to come and share some efforts that we are using to ensure that we have a safe and secure school system, learning environment for all of you.
Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Okay, I'm Major Walker. I'm actually the Major of Field Operations. So that basically means I'm in charge of all the officers on the road or in the schools. I'm also in charge of all the security guards in the schools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take time out to discuss 4 different areas of components that we're currently working on for you all. Just know that we're here for you all. I know sometimes you feel that law enforcement is not here for you. Don't pay attention to a lot of the news or media stories. We are here for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 4 efforts just to let you know we are here. Two of the efforts I'm going to share with you shows that things you will not see. And the other 2 efforts you should see on a daily basis. As the superintendent just brought you up to speed on, we should have officers at every middle and high school in the district. And currently, there are a couple of shortages, and we're working on filling those voids. We also have campus security at every high school in the district and at some elementary schools in the district. So those are some of the efforts you see. That's just part 1. Part 2 is the safety checks. How many of you have witnessed the safety checks at the middle and high schools? And the scanners. That's when the officers as well as the security guards are standing there, and you have to come through the scanners, and you have your bags being searched on and so forth. Okay, so just a quick Q&A. Tell me how you feel about it. Yes, ma'am. Speak up a little bit so I can repeat what you said. And thank you. I'm glad to hear that because help us help you. So she said that she feels like it's warranted and needed. Do we have anybody else that feel the same way? Yes, ma'am. You feel the same way? Okay. Exactly. Once again, help us help you. We want to be there for you, but we can only help you if you help us help you. The third initiative that we do have, and those are the two items that you can see, officers in school as well as the safety checks. The third item is something you don't see. What we do is we have two different components. The first component is what we call alert. That is advanced law enforcement rapid response training. And it may sound like a lot of big words, but basically what we're doing here at Clayton County Schools is we're working together with the City of Jonesboro Police Department, with the Clayton County Sheriff's Department, Marlboro Police Department, Forest Park Police Department. All of the other agencies within this county are working together. So if we get an event at a school, just be aware that some law enforcement agencies will allow it. And basically what we do is we work together on response, and then we coordinate what we would do when all of the units arrive at school together. So that's one of the third things. Lastly, what we have is what we call CRACE. That's civilian response to active shooter events. So with CRACE, basically myself and Mr. Thompson, who will be coming up later on to speak, we go to every school in the district. Last year I went to every middle, elementary, and high school, with the exception of a few. Last year I think I went to every school in the district. And basically what we do is we train the trainer. We speak to the administrators, we speak to the assistant principals, custodians, everybody in the school. And basically what we do is we come up with a plan on how you, the civilians, will respond to a active shooter event, as well as regular safety events. Most of the time they ask us some questions, sometimes they ask us hard questions. But what we do is we go over those types of events to bring awareness to the administrators as well. And then what we expect for them to do is come back to you. We train them on lockdown events. How many of you have never heard of the level 1, 2, and 3 lockdown? Oh, that's great news. So tell me, what would you do? Let's see, let me get your file. What would you do on the level 1 lockdown?
Cover up the windows.
So, close to those scores. So basically, he just actually spoke of the level 3 lockdown. So the level 1 lockdown is a real simple lockdown. That's just in case if you ever hear someone tell you your school is on a level 1 lockdown, there's no need to be alarmed. Basically, that means something's going on outside your school. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get all of you on back into the school, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to lock down the exterior doors of the school. Level 2 lockdown is similar to the level 1 lockdown. Basically, the level 2 lockdown is we're going to lock all the exterior doors, we're going to lock all the interior doors down. So you're not going to be able to move throughout the school. And that can be something outside or in the school, but what we do is we try to protect you. And then, of course, we know what the level 3 lockdown, right? That's the big lockdown. That's the one where we turn off the lights, lock the doors, and everybody's absolutely quiet, right? Do we use that time to call people on the cell phone? Are we sure? What about text? Okay, let's not use our phones. Let's make sure we're absolutely safe. That's it for me. Are there any questions for me? Okay, well, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Y'all all right? You sure? I'm cold too. Sit down. I got about 5 minutes, and it's going to be the best 5 minutes of my life and yours. So get ready. Here we go. Listen, there are 4 people that I need to introduce to you. They supervise your school. So everything that's going on at your school, they supervise the principals, and you need to know who they are. I'm going to ask for the 4 of them to stand and introduce themselves. They don't have a microphone. I think I saw Miss Charmin Johnson in the back, unless she's moved down front. What's she got? Miss, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give me names, huh? You got to scream it. Tell them who you are.
Good morning. My name is Charmin Johnson, and I'm Assistant Superintendent for Cluster D.
Let's give it up to Johnson. Over here. Dr. Guy. Dr. Hendricks there. Dr. Hendricks.
Hey everybody, Doug Hendricks, Cluster C, the cluster of championed by one of the assistant superintendents. Morning, everyone. Keith Covert, I'm assistant superintendent for cluster B.
And I'm Dr. Simpson, Deputy Superintendent, School Leadership and Improvement, and those 4 individuals, including Dr. Lee, we all work together. Here's the interesting piece that you should know. Although I'm supervising them, they are much smarter than me. Why y'all laughing? So all of those things that Dr. Lee just shared and Ms. Heath just shared, I need you all to understand something of what happens when you don't do that. When you are not identifying with your purpose. When you don't have a plan, because I'm a firm believer that failure to prepare is like preparing to fail. When you don't do the things that you should do, and I know that is very difficult at your age, if you just don't and have not landed on who you want to be and what do you want to do, that is okay. I'm a prime example of what that looks like. When Dr. Beasley just called for me, I was outside running my mouth. I did that a lot. Because I did that a lot, it landed me in a situation and a position that I wasted a lot of money. Listen, I said something about failing to prepare. Because I failed to prepare, I had to take classes or repeat classes over and over again. That failure to prepare, that running my mouth outside, not paying attention, not being attentive, not identifying a purpose, caused me to have to do extra work. So when I set out on this journey to become an educator, one of my goals was to make sure no one experienced what I experienced. I would hate for you to have to go through what I went through. Matter of fact, I went through that before you, so it's my purpose to let you know that you don't and you should not do that. Prepare and plan. Always. You are here. You have been identified by your principal because you have displayed and exhibited leadership in your school at a very early age. I'm jealous. Because I wanted to be you. I really did. I wanted to be the class president. I did, but it was a popularity contest, and Kenneth Alexander was the most popular kid in the class. And he was the class president because of partly his popularity. I wanted to be that. He was also a good student. I was a social guy. I knew everybody. I had great relationships. But that didn't get me to become, okay, no president. I wanted to be the vice president. Kevin Napper was the vice president. I didn't know that. He was a good student as well. Popularity. Treasurer, I really wasn't that good in math, so I didn't have anything to do with money and didn't want to have anything to do with money. Secretary, I really didn't take notes in class. And in order to take notes, you know, you need to be able to read and write, specifically write grammatically correct sentences, subjects and verbs agreeing. No secretary. So I wasn't an officer at all. But I wanted to be. The point I'm trying to make is the things that you want, you're going to have to put in some work in order to get those things. It's not going to just happen because you woke up that morning and decided, this is who I want to be and this is what I want. You're going to have to put in some work. Now, how I got to be where I am in the position that I have, supervising people that are smarter than me, it requires work. I have to get up earlier. Like 4 o'clock in the morning. Because see, because they're smarter than me, they can spend a little less time. I have to go over things a couple of times still to this day. So that I can be prepared and be able to sit at the table and have conversations with these smart people. It's okay though. It's okay. I just have to get up a little bit early. That means I have to just put in more work. Listen. If you think that you're going to get what you want by doing average work, it's not going to happen. In order to get more, you're going to have to work more. Hey, your competition is sitting right here in front of you today. But it's a competition that you can't even see all over this world. Your competition you've never even met and you might not meet. So everything that Dr. Lee and Ms. Heath share with you, it makes sense. That piece of paper that you have, that one document right there, if you use that document as a tool to prepare and to plan for the rest of this year and your years, I guarantee you won't have to do what I did. You won't have my experiences. I don't want you to have my experiences. I just don't want you to have to go through it. I don't want that to be your journey because it can be easier for you. Just plan. Just prepare. Plan and prepare. And I guarantee you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you'll get there. They'll take rocket science for me to get here, folks. Dr. Beasley stood here, the first thing, and he shared with you his role and his responsibility. He's responsible for every last one of you. He's assured your parents that when you walk out of our doors with a high school diploma that you are college and career ready. That's his guarantee. I have to help with that guarantee. As his deputy superintendent, I have to make sure that that guarantee is carried out. It's part of my role. And whatever that takes. Because when you step foot on the scene and you tell these people that you matriculated or graduated from a Clayton County school, then they step back and say, oh, they ready. That's the way we want the conversation to go. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, when you say you're a graduate of Clayton County, they know what they're getting. That's our brand. That's our badge of honor. And that's our guarantee. So if you don't remember anything that I said, just remember this. Failure to prepare is like preparing to fail. Y'all say it for one more time. Failure to prepare is like preparing to fail. One more time. Failure to prepare is like preparing to fail. One more time. Failure to prepare is like preparing to fail. Thank you. I got a great day. I want to 5 minutes. Y'all good? I got 5 more. Y'all want it? I'm not going to give it to you.
You all enjoyed that? Wrote something down in your notes, right? At this time, we've got our operations department. I shared with you, we want to make sure you have beautiful facilities, clean facilities, road-free facilities. But y'all have to help us on that. When you leave doors open, when you throw food down, guess what that draws? Possums, rats, and bugs. And so we want you all to know, and Mr. Thompson, our Executive Director of Operations, is coming. Come on, Mr. Thompson, to share with you some of the efforts that we have occurring to ensure we continue with beautiful facilities, clean facilities, safe facilities, cool when it's hot facilities, warm when it's cold facilities. Yes, sir. Good morning.
It's very hard to follow Dr. Simpson, so I might not be as hyped and excited, but operations, when you think operations, that's the division that I oversee. Think bus transportation, school nutrition, facilities maintenance, athletic operations, and collaborating with our construction and safety and security people. We have about 1,100 staff members that are here for the purpose of making sure you are having a positive and quality learning experience. And how we do that is making sure that you're arriving to school safely, you're being fed the most nutritious food in the state, making sure that our facilities are maintained, whether it's our grounds, the infrastructure of the building, and making sure that our student athletes are having the best quality experience in their endeavors. exciting field, and if any of you want to go into that area, that's something to really consider, because when I first entered this field, I was told you will never have a boring day, and they were right, because every day there's something different. And I kind of link that with the purpose that I have, not just for the division, but for myself. And the purpose that I have is to serve my community. And I think this is the way that the staff and the leadership and operations, what we do to serve our community is to make sure that we deliver you on time, safely, and that we make sure that you have a good learning experience. Some of the things that we're doing, and school nutrition will be up here momentarily to talk about some strategies and some things that they're confronted with addressing over the last several months. Sam Colbert, which is over our facilities division, will kind of talk about what we're doing in the areas of pest control. Right now, my main concern is the transportation piece, making sure we're getting you to school safely. It's a tough environment out there. We need school bus drivers. We need monitors. We need all of this personnel to make sure that we're providing you quality service. Dr. Lee, Dr. Simpson can't do what they need to do unless we do our jobs. And that's what we're doing continuously every day. But we do need your help. We need your help in the area of making sure that our facilities are well maintained. If you see anything, say something, bring it to the attention of your principals, and we're going to be as responsive as possible to make sure that we're coming in and not only solving the immediate problem, but educating the group on why things happen. Whether it's making sure doors are closed, keeping pests out of the facilities, or rodents. So we need to work in partnership with the school leadership to making sure that we're addressing your concerns. So we're here, you see us around every day, whether it's our bus drivers, our maintenance personnel, our school nutrition workers. Go up to them, thank them for the service that they provide to the schools. And we're there to assist and support you. I'd like the staff, leadership staff, to kind of stand up and introduce themselves. Because Mrs. Hamilton, Mr. Frame, Mr. Colbert up there, Mr. Kevin May, just introduce yourself.
Good morning, scholars. My name is Audrey Hamilton, Patricia Director of the County Public Schools.
We're all here, 1,100 strong, here to support you, make sure you're having a quality learning experience. So anything that you need, we'll answer questions at the end of the program. We're here to support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Very quickly, Ms. Hamilton is going to come. She's over our school nutrition, and so every day when you eat breakfast and lunch, you're working with her team, and they are committed to ensuring that you have a wonderful dining, a tasteful dining experience. So let's give Ms. Hamilton a hand as she comes.
Thank you, Dr. Good morning again, scholars, administrators, and stakeholders. For the school nutrition update, we're gonna share with you today a video that my team and I prepared to tell you about the wonderful things that we're doing in your school nutrition program this school year. So if you would roll the video, then I'm going to come back afterwards. We're going to talk about a little bit about some of these things that you've seen on the video today. Well, while the video is queuing up, after the event is over this morning, we're going to be serving you some items, some sample items that we want you to try. We're going to be featuring the gourmet Eisenberg hot dog. We're going to also have you sample some of our new brand new lemon pepper wings that we're going to be offering. We also have some fresh fruit, some Otis Montclair cookies. We're also featuring a wonderful, our own recipe we developed, and we're going to introduce this first to high schools. It is going to be a caramel latte. It's going to be warm. It's going to be a part of your meal. It's going to be a part of your meal for high schools, and then once we perfect it in high schools, we're going to roll out to middle schools. So we have a caramel latte, and then for the winter, and then summer, what we will do is we will make it a cold caramel latte. So these are some of the new things that we are bringing to our school nutrition program here in Clayton County.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of Chat and Chew for school year 2020. We're so excited about our theme this year, which is Hunger Adventures. We are avenging hunger throughout Clayton County Public Schools this year.
So, who is your favorite superhero? We are sending out school nutrition superheroes to the rescue. No more boring school meals. These superheroes will create delicious and nutritious breakfast and lunch meals just for you. We hope that your school nutrition team will become your favorite superheroes. That's right, superheroes to the rescue.
Did you hear about the scoop? All the events that are happening in your cafeteria this fall. We got some things going on. We have some very special things that we will be bringing to you. New recipes and old favorites like nachos. So what all will we have? What is on your playlist? Guess what? We're bringing back hot wings. Gold Kiss hot wings. I am so excited. I'm gonna dive in and just try one of these really fast. What do you think? It is so very good. But we got some other things coming up for the high schoolers. So we're here at Riverdale High School, doing just like you said, we're doing pop-ups. And so we have, how
Nutrition is delighted to have our very own Chef James Gerard at our Nutrition Skills Training Facility. He amazes classrooms with his magical performances. Be on the lookout for Chef James Gerard visiting your classroom soon.
Thank you very much. What do you guys think about those new ideas, those new things that we're bringing to your cafeterias this school year? So you're going to get to sample these items. You're some of the first students to sample these items, particularly the caramel latte. And we want to get your feedback. We're going to be inviting some of you back for focus groups because we want to start rolling these things out as quickly as possible. And I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for participating in school lunch, in school breakfast, and after school snack. Our team work hard. We really go out and look all over the country looking for new ideas to bring to our students here in Clayton County. We want you to have the best food, the healthiest food, everything that's trending, everything that's innovative that they're serving out in restaurants and on college campuses. We scout these areas to find these foods for you. We want you to have that wonderful dining experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. So very quickly, as our Chief of Communications, Jada Dawkins, I think she's here, she's going to come. She normally opens up, so she's going to come and tell us what to do for the Q&A. Let's give her a hand as she comes. But if we could do questions by the groups, if you have questions about curriculum and instruction, let's do those questions. Safety and security, I believe Mr. Walker Mayo, he's still here. If you have questions, we'll do that next. And then we'll do, if they have questions about school nutrition and operations, we'll do those as well. So let's start with curriculum and instruction.
Well, he's given most of. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We've had some exciting updates today. I hope that you are excited to be here, excited to test some of the food that Nutrition Services has prepared for you, excited to learn more and engage in our advanced learning initiatives and all. So we want to hear from you. This meeting is designed to share and exchange critical information. So before we depart and allow you to get some of that yummy and tasty food, we want you to, if you're on my left side, my left, your right, please exercise using the podium where Mr. Charles White is standing. If you'll raise your hand, Charles, so everyone can see you. And of course, if you're in the center aisle, over to my right, far right, please make sure that you utilize this podium. If there's questions that need a little bit more attention, we'll make sure that we notate those. I have members of my team, Ms. Nikki Frazier in the rear. Raise your hand and wave when we introduce the others. Mr. Peter Poole, videographer, station manager. Mr. Ronald Shields, communications consultant, and Mr. Charles White, communications coordinator. So between all of us, we'll make sure that we capture your information if there's some follow-up that's needed to respond directly to your emails or directly to your school leaders, okay? So we do have representatives from mostly most of the divisions here today. So we will make sure that they come up and respond actively to any questions that you may have. And again, if not, we'll make sure that we follow up via email directly to you. So without further ado, we'll make sure that Dr. Beasley uses his wireless mic, if need be. Yes, sir. And yes, so we'll rotate to the left, to the right, back and forth to make sure that we entertain most of your questions. Please be abbreviated because there's others that may have maybe 2 or 3 questions at one time. So offer solutions. So we want to hear from you. If you have questions, we certainly will entertain those, but if you're in a position to offer up some remedies or solutions, we want to hear what those may be. So if you do have any questions, you can start lining up now, to the left or to the right, as indicated shortly ago. And just allow, yeah, you're perfect. Just form a line. And another set of instructions, please make sure that you say your first and last name, your grade level, and the school that you're representing today. And so we'll start with this young lady who seemingly popped up first, and then we'll veer to the left and go back and forth as mentioned. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Aisha. I'm from North Clayton High School. And my concern is I feel that we need to implement SAT prep classes and financial aid classes to help with scholarships and career preparation classes. And I feel like this should be implemented during the beginning of their junior year so they can understand what they need for their senior year. Because there are a lot of students at North Clayton High School that don't understand what they need in order to graduate.
So Ms. Heath will come, Ms. Heath will come and share what we're doing with SAT and advanced placement possibly. It may be a matter of things, maybe connecting with that school to see what they're doing, but I do know, and she'll clarify if some schools have already offered.
So several of our high schools do offer an SAT prep. I do want you to know too that we do something called SAT School Day, which is in March. And during that time, we really encourage, it's for 11th graders, but I agree with you, more people, you should be taking before 11th grade. But also what we do is really encourage for you to be using Khan Academy. If you're not using Khan Academy actually links your PSAT score. 12, okay, so you've taken the PSAT, and this March, you can take the SAT. But also, what we'll do is we provide the school with those preps and what they can do. So that means after-school tutorials as well as giving you links that you can go to. Khan Academy actually link to your PSAT, SAT, and will actually give you tests to take. And College Board says that if you put over 20 hours with this, you can raise your SAT score by 100 points. So these are part of those things. But I'll also investigate. I'll also get back with what your school is doing also for that. And with prep, not just for SAT, but think about it. Guys, any of you are taking AP classes, we have NIMSI, National Math Science Initiative. We have Saturday sessions. We have one this Saturday that you can come, and they bring in master teachers across the United States to work with students and teachers. So those are other things that we're offering.
My name is Michelle. I'm from Tertiary Elementary and I'm in 5th grade. My name is Michelle Winters. I'm from Tertiary Elementary and I'm in 5th grade. My question is if we can add more drink choices at the schools because some people might not be able to drink milk like every day because they may be lactose intolerant. So my suggestion is to add like water or more juices.
Ms. Hamilton will respond to the question.
Good morning, thank you for that question. You should be seeing infused water at your schools. Are you not seeing infused water?
We see
That's water infused with fruit.
We have water fountains at our school, but at lunch some people might be able to walk out of the cafeteria.
Not hearing it.
We have water fountains at our school.
No infused water? Okay, we'll make sure that you have infused water. You'll see when you go out today to pick up your snacks, you'll see some infused water, so you'll get a chance to see what it looks like. Infused water, scholars, is water that's infused with some type of fruit or some type of vegetable. Sometimes you might see cucumber water, you might see sliced oranges, sliced lemon.
Really, your parents, and we're an extension of your parents, we gotta make sure you're eating healthy. Because we gotta avoid the prevalence of diabetes and all these preventable diseases. So you won't get a whole lot of sugar-loaded stuff and sodium-loaded stuff with us because we gotta change the prevalence of a lot of these preventable diseases that are killing our family members and killing us the older we get. So I really want you all to start thinking about eating and drinking healthy, exercising. Because a lot of the sickness that we're dealing with, it is oftentimes very preventable based upon our diet and exercise.
The efforts of advancing education and rigor throughout all levels of education is indeed great. It has brought me up to where I am right now. 4.315.
All right.
Happy. But with all of this comes stress. What is the education system doing to ensure the mental stability and health of the students in each of our educational institutions?
Very good. Stress. Do I have anyone here? Come on up here and talk about what we're doing with stress. Introduce yourself. But that's a great question because as you go through college and job and work, we all have to manage what? Stress. We all do. So let's talk about what we're doing. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, scholars. My name is Michelle Santana. I'm a school social worker at Jonesboro High School. And what I can tell you is that we do have the mental health support within the schools. We have an ACEs program, and you can speak with a school social worker or school counselor. I know at my school we offer a mentorship for young ladies and a mentorship program for young boys. And again, I can go on with a list of different things that we do. We have psychologists, we have counselors, social workers, and we are currently linked with several community mental health centers within the Clayton County area. So every school has a social worker, and you have multiple counselors, and you have psychologists. Okay? And if you need more assistance, you can call me, Michelle Santana. Thank you.
We also have Sherry Ann Taylor, who's over our psychologist. And remember that ACEs health model provides support. So always see your counselor. If you get so stressed that you got to talk to someone, always know you can go to your teacher or go to your counselors, and the teachers can refer you to the counselors.
Thank you for your question. As far as study skills, you can see your school psychologist, and we have a workbook where we can work with you on specifically what anxiety level you have towards your testing. Is it note-taking? Is it your memory? So we'll be able to work with you and see what area is most impacting your anxiety and give you a plan. So if you go to your counselor, like Dr. Lisa said, because they're every day, they can link you to your school psychologist or a school social worker.
Thank you. Great question. Relevant question. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Joy Mims. I attend Forest Park High School, and I'm currently a senior. My question is, why is it a requirement for students to have to pay to park on campus?
Because it's a privilege. And it's like paying for a car tag every year. It's like paying for gas tax. When you get gas, you are paying taxes. It's a privilege. And somebody has to organize and put energy in order for it to get it done. And so anything that's a privilege for us to enjoy, someone has to put some effort into for it to be a privilege. So a little cost comes with how much is a car tag? The parking. How much? $40. That's pretty low. So, but it's I believe it's once a year, right? For the whole year?
Well, yes, it was 20%.
Yeah, and honestly, your school needs the resources to do extra things, and someone has to watch your car too, right? Yeah. So you got to, and really, this is a good lesson. Nothing's free, y'all. You got to pay. You know, if you want to bring your car on campus, and it costs to do that. When I go down to Atlanta to enjoy the Falcons, what do I have to pay for? And that's how much each time. Depending on what day they're playing, it could be $20 or $30, right? So it just comes with being responsible and having privileges, isn't it? All right.
Good morning. My name is Brian Oten. I'm a senior at Notre Dame High School. And I went around and asked for different concerns that students may have. And the main one that they brought up was that our school is understaffed. So what are you doing to ensure that more teachers are employed so that students can get a better learning experience?
That's a great question. And so the main issue is understaffed, meaning you probably want smaller class sizes, right? Very good. Now, so were you here earlier when I talked about what I had to go downtown, go to Jonesboro and talk to the Board of Tax Assessors to talk about more funds, taxing the airport, the leases at the airport so we can get more revenue into our district? Okay. In order to bring the class sizes down, that means I have to increase the number of teachers. In order to increase the number of teachers, I gotta have what? Money. And so we're maximizing the money that we have today. That's why we visited Board of Tax Assessors and we basically requested of them, we want them to investigate taxing the leases of the airlines at the airport, because potentially we're losing out. Do you know how much we're losing out because we don't tax those airlines right now? $100 million a year in Clayton County. Now, where do you think we would be if we had an additional $100 million a year? Instead of me hearing about Cobb giving teachers incentive checks, we would be probably the highest paid school system. We'd have every kid in here with a laptop. And so my appeal is, I want everyone in the community, every organization, every business to pull their weight. And if it means that we have, if the law allows us to tax a $64 billion, well, that's just one airline, but I want to tax all of the leases. So we can do exactly what we need to do relative to that concern. Hire more teachers, retain the ones that we have that are quality, and reduce the student class ratios. That's one of our challenges. But when we get sufficient funds that we can sustain, then we can reduce the number of kids that are in every classroom. Did I answer your question? Thank you. Good question.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Graves. I'm a junior at Forest Park High School, and my concern is that we need classes that help us solve problems and critically think and understand our purpose. And a solution to that could be to implement clubs in our schools that help us motivate students to know and ensure that they can do better. And I personally take a class at Atlanta Metropolitan where it is called critical thinking, and it helps with that. But instead of taking the annual enrollment, we need an actual class, and if not a class, a club. And I want to know what you guys are doing to ensure that our students are motivated, not just from teacher input, but from a class alone.
Well, first I commend you for taking that course at Atlanta Metro. That's great to hear that you're doing that. What we do system-wide in all of our classes, we embed the elements of critical thinking in our curriculum. And so you should be getting that experience thinking critically in all the courses that you're taking. I would admit that it occurs better in some classes than it does in others, or it occurs more in some classes than it does in others. But all of our classrooms are moving towards higher levels of critical thinking, and it should come across in your discussions, your academic discussions, what you're writing, what you're reading, etc. Relative to your extracurricular activities, I would say every high school, every school has a process for expanding the number of extracurricular activities. I would encourage you to have a conversation with your principal. We don't mandate at my office or at the central office level, we don't mandate extracurricular activities. There are processes. It takes students who are interested. It takes a staff member who would like to be the sponsor. When they come together, then we can always, with the approval of the principal, have those more or additional extracurricular activities. But it takes student interest. It takes an adult on the campus who's willing to serve as the, if you will, the supervisor or the adult who is basically there with the students, and of course principal's approval for that to occur. So I would encourage you to have that conversation with your principal about expanding the opportunities for extracurricular activities. Okay. Very good. Good question.
Hi, my name is Tira from E.W. Oliver. Research has shown that students have grown over the years, but our desks have not. Our problem is that students can't fit under the desk. For example, our fellow student here has a problem with her height at the desk. Our desk is made for a third grader, and we are very tall fifth graders. Some of us has to put our legs in the chairs, and we can't learn in an improper state. All of our desks in the school are the same height. Is there any way you could donate some different sizes of desks for school?
So you read a lot just to tell me a desk are too small. So Mr. Thompson, come and talk about the process, and maybe Mr. Colbert, the size of the desk at this is elementary, right? They don't seem to be growing with the students.
And probably what we'll do is kind of dig deeper into this. That's a good question. We do have a process when we build schools, when we renovate, that we do purchase the furniture. We do work with the principals in consultation with the design of the building and the classrooms. So that is something we'll have to look at, but we do have different sizes of desks. If we need to target your school specifically to address some of those issues, then we can do that. We do work.
Fifth grade.
And we'll work with your principal. Okay?
Good morning. My name is Aubrey Johnson, and I'm an 8th grader at Moneysville Middle. And I know that at our school that students have been doing better in class with the extra enrichment class. But I know that in my class, we do projects, and not in every other class, they do a central project and actually understand what's going on inside our economics and the geography around us. And they're doing like writing stuff, and they're not actually interacting with what's going on around them when they're writing.
Dr. Lee, you want to respond to? So basically, I think I heard you say is that they're doing projects, but they're not necessarily interacting in what class is this? Could you tell us what course?
Our first period enrichment.
Enrichment.
Connections class?
So our enrichment class is like our reading enrichment. So what we do inside our class, we're lately only learning about the pollution of water and what's inside our water. But inside the other 8th grade classes for enrichment, they have been writing about stuff. And not
So they're not interacting and engaging with it.
Yes,
and researching. So it's the expectation, you say you're at Moneysville Middle, and you've spoken to your principal and
Because I've spoken to my teacher and other students of what they've been doing and how they've been learning. Because students from other classes come to my classes for our next
right, because it's more stimulating and interesting. So the expectation is that is in general that type of learning is occurring across the board. We're still growing and learning in terms of how to spread everybody's approach to engage students, but it sounds like you're doing project-based learning where you're exploring a real issue. Is that what you're doing? You say you're exploring a real issue? Yes, and so the goal is that in all of our classrooms, that students are working in teams, they're researching, and they're collaborating. So a part of our work and our training is to continue to build the approaches to design learning in that way. So it just sounds like you may need to have a conversation with your principal to share that, because it is an expectation district-wide that that's occurring.
And your assistant superintendent, he's at Moneysville Middle School, will follow up with your principal as well. Very good.
Hello, my name is Olivia Mason. I'm a 12th grader at Martha Ellen Stillwell School of the Arts, and my question pertains to learning differences. And so, what can be done to ensure students are not being left behind due to learning differences in schools, be it programs or bringing in specially trained teachers or counselors to help work with these students?
Well, that's a good question. I think a lot of things can be done. First of all, we need to make sure that all of us understand that students all learn differently. But then I think sometimes people are not aware of the various resources that are available, whether it be within the classroom or beyond the classroom. For example, Christy shared about some of the resources, the Khan Academy and others. There are many resources. We just got to get, in my opinion, more people informed about the resources, and not just informed, but actually taking advantage of those resources, whether it be additional reading, they need support with reading or math. We have resources available for that to occur. If they would like to consider, they like to look at a different environment, another school, we have school choice options that are available. It just depends on what type of support that they might need.
One thing, by learning differences, I'm thinking like dyslexia or ADHD and things of that nature. And one thing I may suggest is possibly coming up with some type of program, or maybe even bringing in another school. Because I know through my experience, I've met children and also have a sister that has to go outside of Clayton County and spend extra money in order to get the resources and the teachers that can teach her and how to deal with their learning difference.
We do have a department that addresses students with exceptional disabilities or exceptionalities, and so maybe we just need to connect with the resources that are available. Okay. I don't like to hear that you have to leave the school system to get access to resources. So I'd be curious to know exactly what are you leaving the school system to get that we're not able to provide. Well, we've got Ms. Thomas right here, who's over our Assistant Director of the Special Ed.
Good morning, it's Dr. Beasley Said. My name is Lisa Thomas. I'm the Assistant Director for Special Education here in Clayton County Public Schools. And we do offer a continuum of services for students who have identified disabilities, including disabilities that characterize themselves as dyslexia. I think you mentioned about other students having ADHD. We serve all of those students through individualized education programs. Each individual student's IEP team determines the necessary components of their IEP and what those services should look like. It is a confidential process, so I can't give you explicitly students' information as I would expect you to give me your sister's information. However, we do want to confirm that we do provide services for all students at their individual needs based upon the team's recommendations and identification of those needs through testing, evaluation, and annual IEPs. Does that help?
It may be helpful for you to have a conversation with her. I'd like to know what services are not being provided that your family is having to leave the school system to get.
I'd be happy to. Olivia Mason.
Hello, my name is Zane Ross, and I'm a student in Evans Elementary School. My question is, we don't have this right now where you have to wear like student uniforms. I was wondering why do we have to wear uniforms, and why do we have to wear it now? I also have to have a question, why do we have those certain color on our uniforms?
That's a great question. So you have to wear uniforms because your parents expect you to wear uniforms. In the school system, a decision was made years ago to wear uniforms for whatever reason. It could be for safety reasons. It could be so parents are not spending a lot of time trying to figure out what students should wear every morning. It could be because we wanted to take away the distraction of dress and designer clothes. There are many reasons people have uniforms. But a decision was made by the Board of Education several years ago for the students in Clayton County to wear uniforms. Recently, the uniforms were required kindergarten through 12th grade. Recently, we made the decision that elementary and middle school students will continue to wear uniforms, but we have moved away from uniforms at the high school level. So as you continue to matriculate, you should look forward to getting to high school and not wearing a uniform. But we do have very clear dress expectations that everyone has to follow. So again, many reasons for wearing uniforms. I would say to you today that wearing a uniform or what you're wearing should probably be the least of your concerns. I want you all to be thinking about what you're thinking in order, because one day, and I try to tell young people, don't get caught up on uniforms, because I don't care where you go to work. Somebody's going to tell you how to dress. So that's just a fact of life. Even if you own your own business, depending on the circles you have to navigate, you got to dress accordingly, don't you? And so, good question, but I would say to you a little advice, don't get stuck on uniforms. What's most important is that you're studying and preparing your mind, so one day you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
My name is Jeremy. I'm from Kemp Elementary. I'm in 5th grade, and I think that we should have more computer technicians in the school because every day students are breaking computers. computers, and I think that we need more computer technicians to help out with that.
Need more computers. So I don't see Rod here, our IT person, but we do have currently a one-to-one initiative. It's taking us several years to roll out, but in a few years, all 3rd through 12th grade students should have a Chromebook. So we're working toward that because our parents approved SPLOS, but all the SPLOS funds don't come in at one time, so we have to budget as funds come in. But over a few years, our goal is for all 3rd through 12th grade students to have their own Chromebook as a part of their instructional supplies. But that's just a tool, right? Because nothing takes the place of a great, effective what? Teacher. That's just a tool. But also remember, and I'm sure, raise your hand if you have an iPhone. Most of you do. Very few don't. But guess what that is in your hand? It's a computer. You can use spreadsheets on the iPhone. You can do a whole lot. You can write papers. You get papers on the iPhone. You can do research on the iPhone. So while we may provide you at some point with a Chromebook, I want to encourage all of you, other than going on Facebook and Instagram, use those iPhones that help you take your learning to a higher what? Higher level. Okay, good question. Thank you.
My name is Dondre Mulligan, and I'm in 5th grade at Ely Elementary School. My question is, if I go to a magnet middle school and they don't have a sport there, can I play for another middle school?
So if you go to a magnet middle school, they don't have the sport, can he play for another middle school? Thank you, Kevin. Kevin May, our athletic director, is going to answer that question for you.
Good morning. Yes, you can. So we currently only have one magnet middle school that does not have all sports, which is Elite Scholars Academy. And they do not have football. They do have all the other middle school sports. So if you did go to Elite Scholars and you wanted to play football, you could play football at the school for whichever district you lived in. So if you lived in the Forest Park Middle School District, you could play football at Forest Park Middle School, and you would play the rest of your sports at Elite Scholars. All of our other middle schools have all the sports, so there will be no need to go to another middle school.
Good question. Great.
Hello, my name is Norris, and I'm from Oliver Elementary. So my question is, how would Trump is trying to change the free lunch policy? How would this affect Clayton County?
Miss Audrey Hamilton will come. I'm sure she's clued in with what Trump's trying to do. I'm sure not.
If the free reduced lunch policy is changed, and right now our school district is district-wide CEP, which means that all of our students, regardless of income, get to eat breakfast and lunch and snack at no cost. But if it changes, we have to go back to free reduced applications, and it'll become an income-based meal service, which means that your parents will have to declare how much money they make per month, and we'll look at that and determine, based upon the scale that they give us, that USDA gives us, whether you qualify for free or reduced or paid lunch. So if it does change, then we'll have to follow the current government's perspective.
I would say this, if you have thoughts about that, then maybe we should, Jada, send out your elected officials so you can contact them. I read an article in I believe it was the New York Times, it may have been the New York Times, that 40% of farmers receive some type of aid. So, and Trump is very committed to ensuring that they get their aid. So maybe your representatives need to hear from you that if you can give farmers aid, then surely you can give K-12 young people a free breakfast or a free lunch. Maybe that's something that we ought to send that to the Trump administration. So let's maybe encourage, find out who we need to send the information to and give them something to read. What you think about that? Very good.
Thank you. My name is Mofi Caroline from 5th grade, Church Street Elementary School. I know you have a lot going on, Dr. Beasley, but when is Church Street going to get a new school? I'm suggesting this because when flushing the toilet or stall in Church Street, the pipe shakes, so I thought
to know what could happen in that situation.
Sounds like you want a new school. Church Street. I don't know. Is Ronnie here? Ronnie, I don't know if Church Street is even on the list or a future list, but we'll make a note so we'll have the conversation. You know, there's always a lot of need around here, and I don't know how long it's been since Church Street has received a new school. Probably
Since 1960.
since what?
1960.
He was ready, wasn't he? Since '96, Ronnie. Very good, very good. Well, Ronnie, let's add that to our list as we talk about projects in the future. So, what you want, a new school or a renovation? Which one do you want? You want a new school? All right.
Good morning, my name is Anthony Rivera. I'm in 5th grade at Kilpatrick Elementary, and my question is, why is it that GMAT scores come in so late?
The scores. Well, Dr. Lee, they can answer this. Honestly, the scores, they come in not too many days after we take the test. We just can't make them public until the state releases the data. So we have the data internally, and we may discuss it internally, but we can't release publicly until the state allows us after the state's embargo. In other words, they have a date that they will release first, and then after that, we can release. But we do have the data internally, and you should get your scores, and you may get your scores as soon as we get the data. So, anything?
Also, by the other assessments that we give, we really want you all to take them seriously and take your time, because we do start making decisions even before you take the GMAS. So how many of you taken iReady or your benchmark assessment? You should be taking benchmark now, the MAP. All of those measures give us early insight into your performance even before the GMAS.
Thank you.
Okay, just an update. You know, we're running short on time, so we want to entertain the few students that we have in line now. We ask that no one else join in the line that's formed. If it's redundant questions, please make sure that you step out of line now. We already entertained those in terms of nutrition services, something with your building, operations. We will adhere to those. We kind of got the scope of what some of the issues may be, so we'll formulate a response and get back to you with an update. If you have something new, you can remain in line. Please be brief. It's 12 noon. We still have food. We got to organize everyone getting out, grabbing and going, and make sure we get you back on your buses and back at your school in time for your formal lunch, okay? So again, we thank you for being here today, and I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Beasley. Were you about to say something, Dr. Beasley, before? Okay, well, we're going to turn it back over to the students, so be quick with your questions. Whomever they are directed to, be brief with your responses if necessary. But again, let's make sure that we get you in and out, and then we'll end with final comments from our superintendent, CEO of schools.
Good morning. My name is Melanie Ramirez from Rexford Middle School, and I am in 8th grade. And this is a question for Dr. Simpson. I know that you stated that you did not do well as a student. Were there any relationships that you had that was instrumental to your academic and professional success?
So he's MIA. So here he is. Dr. Simpson, you have a question. So let's give him a chance to come down and answer your question.
I also have a suggestion. Right now I'm taking a high school credit, and I didn't know about this, and I want more people to know and to be promoted, because this is a great opportunity for many people, and I just want to suggest, if you can promote it more, so more people can have more opportunities and be more advanced in high school.
I didn't hear promote what more?
High school credit, dual enrollment.
Okay. Kristen, you got that? Okay.
One of the things we're trying to do right now is to get it out to everyone, parents, everyone, because it's never too early. Starting in 4th or 5th grade, we need to start thinking. 4th and 5th graders, guys, you need to be thinking, what high school courses am I getting accomplished in middle school? You can usually get up to 2 to 4 classes completed in 8th grade. From there, going to high school, you have the ability to take AP courses, dual enrollment, and by the time you walk across to get your diploma, you could have a 2-year degree and possibly more college classes taken. So we are working on trying to do that. Guys, your high performance hub, that also talks about all that. So we are trying to make sure we're getting more and more out there.
Can you repeat your
You stated that you didn't do well as a student. Were there any relationships you had that was detrimental to your academic and professional success?
Yeah, actually, the relationship piece is what I did have. I mastered because I was a social person. You know, the relationships piece was something that I benefited from, and because of those relationships. So this how I will see it. What Dr. Lee and Ms. Heath and Dr. Lee, we're talking about foundation. We're talking about foundational things. The things that you must have by the time you leave here. Now, we talk less maybe about relationships, but that is very, very important. And we don't want to dismiss that. And although you've not heard much of it, that's not something that's important. Because it matters who you just live your life this way. Every person that you encounter, make sure that there is a positive exchange. Make sure that every encounter that you have with even your peers, because you never know who and how one day that may be able to offer you an opportunity, especially not like here. Dr. Beasley and I worked alongside each other years ago as principals. I knew he was going to become superintendent one day. Now, I didn't get this job just because of the relationship. I knew that I had to be prepared. I knew that I had to have the requirements. I knew that I had to be successful in the job that I did have. So that when I saw opportunities out there based on relationships that I established years ago, that was able to provide an opportunity for me, then I was ready in terms of my paperwork, my credentials, my degrees. But when you know someone, it helps. When you know someone's work personally, because you had conversations with them. Now, imagine what this would have looked like if 10 or 15 years ago, Dr. Beasley and I had a negative exchange. He wouldn't be here. You understand what I'm saying? And so you never know. I'll give you another example. Our Chief Human Resource Officer, Dr. James Wilson. We started out as teachers years ago, 20 years ago. I never knew he would become chief of HR. That means he's the person that hires people. He's involved in promoting people. We have a good relationship. We became close at the same time as well. And so what I'm saying to you, you just never know who and how you come in contact with, or who there's people coming to your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. So relationships are very critical, very important. Just make sure that those relationships have a very, very positive. You're going to do great things. You're going to go on and you're going to be academically successful, but I don't want you to forget with those same students that you sit down and interact with and collaborate on a project or presentation with. Establish a relationship with them, because they may be able to offer you an opportunity one day, you may be offering them something. That makes sense?
Thank you.
Great.
Good morning, my name is Janelle Sears, and I'm an 11th grader at Jonesboro High School. And as you know, there's construction going on in the building. So I was wondering, there's fumes and smoke that come in from the construction going on. I wonder if there's any precautions we can take to prevent that from affecting the students' health.
We'll let Ronnie come and talk about construction at Jonesboro.
Great question. As you know, there are major renovation modifications occurring at Jonesboro High School. What we try to do is for activities that have fumes to schedule those events to take place after hours. There were a couple incidents that took place here recently, and we've made the adjustments to do those roofing operations after school hours.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Harry Balum. I'm a student from Forest Park. I'm a senior. And my concern is that we should need more support from teachers to to ESOL students who currently don't not speak English.
More support for students. If Dr. Normil, will you come and address that? That's a great concern because we want you to get all the support that you deserve and that you need to be successful. Dr. Normil leads our ESOL department and world languages.
I'm happy that you brought that point up. One thing that we know across the district is that all teachers need to learn how to teach our students who are diverse. Having a second language is an asset. So they need to understand while students are learning English, that they need support. Learning English has nothing to do with your ability to understand a content area. So we are working hard with teachers all across the district to teach them to help our students. So hopefully you will see more because we already have a plan in place for your school.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tayshawn Noah. I'm from Georgia High School. And actually, I have two questions. One for the athletic department for football and one for bus transportation. Bus transportation, I understand that. I did a recent survey asking several bus drivers the reason why quitting a job, and they told me they moved to Martin because they're paying more, and other bus drivers like Delta or whatever bus stop service that they have. And my question is, what are we doing to ensure that we keep the bus drivers at our school to stay for our students, for people to get the education I feel in school? And toward the athletic department, I was wondering what you guys are doing to ensure the safety of the equipment that the football players are getting to help prevent injuries that we have, especially me being a student athlete suffering from a recent AC separation, to help ensure our safety while we're out on the field.
So let's answer the bus question first. I'll just share. Mr. Walker is coming. He's a director of transportation. So you mentioned that some of them leaving because of higher pay in Martin and other places. So we're competing with the private industry, the other industries. So that is a challenge. Often, Mr. Walker will share, we train them up. They may work for us for some time, but then they can make some higher salaries other places. So Mr. Walker shares some things that we're doing to hopefully retain the bus drivers once we train them up and hire them and train them.
Good morning. Matter of fact, top of the morning. Good afternoon now, right? I am Harold Walker, Transportation Director for Lake County Public School. What we're doing now is that we have different hiring schools, training driver. You can have work as a regular driver license. You can turn that into a CDL license. We support you, so you don't have to pay any of that. This training is free. You go online right now. All of us, one that's young, that's old enough to be a school bus driver. We need y'all today and tomorrow to help out, okay? And fill out the application, and then we will become in training. The superintendent and your district gave drivers $1 increase. Also, we call it step raise, and we put it to about $1 or more as well. So we probably about the third one now in the state of Georgia that is pay wages is the highest. But we compete against Amazon now, different places like that as well. In fact, Google is all have our competitors as well now. So that's what we're doing right now to make it work for all our students. It's a continuously hiring school bus, quality school bus drivers. So we got to have quality school bus drivers. Always add that to it, okay? All right, anything else?
That is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as equipment goes, all of our equipment that we purchase is NOCSE certified, which is NOCSAE, which is a national organization that certifies safety of athletic equipment. All the helmets we purchase are 5-star, as rated by the Virginia Tech Helmet Study. Obviously, football is a game where injuries do occur no matter what the equipment is. The NFL guys have the best equipment possible, and they still sustain injuries, but we purchase quality equipment. We make sure we do because we don't want that to be a reason that anyone is injured. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good questions. Okay. Please.
Good morning, my name is William and I'm from McGarrett Elementary School, 5th grade. And my question is, what can we do about ketogenic and
Oh, wow. Audrey? I gotta let her handle that one. That's a good question, though. Because sometimes the options are not there, right? You heard the question, Audrey?
Sorry, I was trying to make sure that we had everything ready for you all so that you can get on your buses quickly and get back to your school. So we're out there, we're pre-plating some items for you. So if your chicken wings or your hot dog is slightly a little chilled, I apologize. We want to make sure that you guys get back to your buses and get back to your schools as quickly as possible. To address your question about ketogenic, which is a new phenomenon trending right now, everybody is going on the keto diets. Well, we're not doing keto in school nutrition. USDA does not recognize keto as a diet. Keto is when an individual takes meat, high protein, and low carbs, and they just ramp their bodies up with high protein, high fat. Fat meaning butter, oils like coconut oil and things like that. And they consume this on a regular basis and reduce the amount of carbs. And what keto does is it causes your body to burn more fat and more muscle. And it causes your liver and some of your other organs to just produce ketones inside your blood, which helps you burn more energy. And you use the energy for your body as your fat. Not highly recommended by some doctors who study diseases and to study medicine, but it's a phenomenon that's moving across the country right about now. And did you say paleo? Vegan. We are getting more into plant-based. If you notice today on our screen, we were introducing a plant-based burger. And you should have salads on your menu. If you don't want the meat, you just let us know. Do you eat peanut butter and jelly?
I can, but sometimes I can't really have it because I am lactose intolerant.
You're lactose intolerant. Do we have something from a physician that specifies what you can and cannot eat?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, if there are students out there with special diets, that there's certain things that we say that you cannot eat, we are required to make sure that you have those items. We just need something from your physician indicating such. So is your diet, is your veganism part of your religion, or?
Yes, it is part of my religion.
It's part of your religion. Well, I will get with you individually. I'll get your name after this, and we'll just go over the menu and just really kind of see what you can and cannot have, and then we'll just build your menu from there. Fair enough? Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Hi, my name is Josiah Hardy. I am from Arnold Elementary, and my concern is that our activities in physical education is that we only do centers, and it's getting really, it's not that
Boring. It's okay. So Dr. Lee, curriculum and instruction, we have a physical and health education coordinator, and I'm sure she'll respond, and they'll be getting over there to watch that. What school?
Arnold Elementary.
And I will say, Paul Scott, our coordinator, he has been very instrumental in changing some of the traditional practices that we have seen sometimes in our PE classes. So I'll be sure to take that back to him, and he'll do a visit, and we'll make sure that PE becomes a place you enjoy and want to be in. Thank you for your question.
Let's give our young people a great round of applause. Well, you all did very well. Great questions. saw here is an example of what it takes, what it will take of you and what it takes of us to do these jobs. You've got to think critically, you've got to be able to communicate, you've got to be creative in solving problems, you've got to be collaborative. All of these departments work with one another in order to give you a great school experience. And so your teachers at home, counselors, they're here, and we're all on the same team working to produce a great opportunity for you here in Clayton County Public Schools. But I want to say thank you for coming. What we're going to do, they've asked that we allow all the elementary students, if you would stand first. Stand, only elementary students. If you would stand.